Hello, guys. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be joining us from. If this is the first time you are coming to this live presentation, please like, share, drop your comment on the comment section. Today, we'll be hosting our guest, Dani TV, who is going to join us, elaborate and talk about the present circumstances that the Igbo nations, also known as Biafras, are facing today because Mazi Nnamdi has been sentenced to life in prison, dealing on these issues. So if you are just joining us or you are about to join us, please try to invite your friends. You can as well follow my guest, Dani TV. He's a great guy. Thank you. Mr. Chi,
Yes,
welcome to this live presentation this evening.
thank you
Please, I
very much.
want you to use 20 seconds to introduce yourself to my audience.
Well, um, I am Chi, nothing much. I'm a blogger, a concerned African who cares, about the people, their well-being. You know, that's all.
You are welcome. So
Thank
today we'll be on the issue of the sentencing of Mazi Nnamdi. As you can see in the topic, the Fulani, they are in celebration for the imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi, who has been sentenced to life in prison, at the same time transferred to Sokoto prison
you. Mm.
in the landmark ruling of November 2025. So, what do you have to say about this present predicament of Mazin and and why would the federal government decide to move him away from Kuje prison to Sokoto prison? What is your take on this?
Well, it's something laughable, and you can tell this is what they call double standard. um, the way the sentence came like a shocker to many people that heard it because the other guy from the other side, the Boko Haram guy, was only given 20 years, and some of them they were pardoned. So people were like, why are you giving this one 20 years and this one life in prison? Okay, if this guy killed and you say this one killed, most of them should have gotten life in sentence or 20 years. So you can tell that there was what they call great injustice done there. And also, transferring him from Kuje prison to Sokoto, it looks like a setup. People are having this notion that he was sent there so that the Biafrans or his lawyers, anybody that wants to see him, will be finding it difficult to get there, or maybe scared of even going, fear of being killed along on the way
Mm.
returning. And also, like they kept him there so that maybe before you know it, they'll tell you Boko Haram or Fulani attacked the prison, killed a lot of people, set it ablaze, including Nandekano lost his life there. So any of those could be the reason why they did it.
Thank you for that question. So, based on this ruling, Justice James Omotosho has delivered the judgment based on terrorism count charge, including incitement and illegal sit at home, and leading Mazen Nandi Kalu as a proscribed leader of IPOB. So, if they are saying about this terrorism count charge and the proscribing Mazi Nnamdi as a terrorist because of his asking for the Republic of Biafra. So, what would you say about this terrorism that was tagged on Mazi Nnamdi? Is it that freedom fighting is no longer acceptable in the global community, or is as a result of the Nigeria state bringing their own country? Because I am lost in this issue.
Well, I think it's just the Nigerian state thing. Internationally, the IPOB is not known as a terrorist organization, have not been designated. They are not in the top 10 terrorist list. They are not in that list. So Nigeria just made it so. And it's not a crime for you to ask for your own independence, like your own freedom, when you feel you are no longer comfortable with the doings of the country and you feel marginalized. It's the right to ask for it. All the government has to do is to sit on the table, discuss about it. Okay, what do you want? If we do this, would you say you negotiate? You reach an agreement. But it's not a must to stay in a marriage that you feel you're no longer comfortable in, you're not benefiting anything. You are always subdued all the time. So, but I think Nigerian government, misunderstood the whole thing for, they'll call it treason. You want to overthrow my government. Their usual propaganda. So the thing went out of hand. And this is where we find ourselves now.
Good. Now, Nigeria government sees the transmitter that Mazi Nnamdi imported into Nigeria, calling it an exhibit, which is a crime that was brought into Nigeria. So when is it when is it a radio transmitter becomes a crime in any country? Do you think calling that radio transmitter, which Mazi Nnamdi was using to disseminate his broadcast to the general public, would you say such thing is a crime? I am lost
Well,
here.
they say give a dog a bad name so that you can kill it. So they have to still look for something to put on his head to use to, sentence him. So that's Nigeria for you. The government how they operate. So it's something everybody too was like confused about. Like, uh, is this the terrorism of a thing? Anybody can have transmitter does not mean that they are now terrorists. After all, it's not the one that produced it. A company produces it and they sell it to anybody that wants. So you should equally say that those companies are sponsors of terrorism as well.
Good. Now, if you look at what is happening with the Boko Haram and the Fulani terror, you know, you see them with having this their weaponry in their hands, holding meetings with Nigeria officials. But Mazi Nnamdi Kalu was never found with any weapon. So why would the federal government still classify him as a terrorist?
Well, that one, you can tell that there are many ways you can incite violence in a country. According to them, the broadcast he keeps making, he was inciting it and inciting violence, like trying to tell people do this, do that. So they feel that those words, a lot of people took it so serious. Some people, there are ways they can understand certain words and commands. So they believe that those his proclamations, those words made a lot of people started behaving the way they're behaving in the southeast, started carrying out the orders out. So they believe he influenced it from wherever he was broadcasting from, and they could have used the Finland way of judgment to equally sentence Nnamdi Kanu, knowing that okay, Finland was like okay, Ekpatu was broadcasting, blah blah blah. So they could have used that playbook as well to label him a terrorist.
Good. Well, you all know that presently the Nigeria state, I would say the judiciary, they are in a state of comatose because it seems that they don't really understand what laws is, and they don't even understand what international law is all about. When you talk about self-determination, is the international guarantee right for every citizen have the right
Yeah.
to demand for a separate state. But why would the world still keep quiet? The world is silent over the plight of Biafran people, having fought a brutal war in the year 1967 to 1970. But yet, the world have still not listened to the cry of Biafrans. What do you think is responsible for that?
I'll call it personal interest. These same people you're talking about should be the and the Europe as a continent itself, the US, Canada, UK. These are the people that have interest in Africa as a whole. So the playbook is there and they have to use it on them, Africans. So That's why it's not like they don't know what is happening. They know what is happening. But, they feel if the Biafrans should leave, it's going to affect them, the way they take resources from there freely. So they prefer the way the country is, you know, than to let one go. Because even they themselves, in their own countries, they have some group as well that want to leave that they have not yet given the freedom to leave. Just like in South Africa, they have some group that want to leave. New York, California, those places too, they have been acting just in crime. These are people that will not let anyone leave. Even when they know the truth, they will not agree to that. So they will not equally advise Nigeria to let them go. So that's the problem here. It's not like they don't know what is happening. They know. They are part of the game that you see going on, you know. So that's it.
Thank you very much. Mazi Nnamdi is a British citizen, and it looks like the British have abandoned their own citizen in Nigeria. They don't even talk about him or ask about him. So, are you not saying
Mm.
that all foreign citizens who based in America, Europe, wherever they find themselves as a citizen of that country, are you not saying that if they're having issues with their mother country, are you not saying that the state of where they receive their own citizen, that the country uh, don't have power over their own mother country? I am a bit confused of that issue.
Well, every country have the citizenship rules which they give to foreigners. When you take that oath, a lot of things are involved in that oath. Like Italy, they will tell you that this citizenship can be revoked if you are found to involve in anything terrorism, or you are a threat to their country, or you commit a very serious crime. So if you have an Italian citizenship and you involve in anything terrorism, they'll still take the citizenship away and deny you. So maybe I don't know that of UK. Definitely they'll have similar kind of laws. For them to have kept quiet all this while, so this day even when he was sentenced, they didn't even talk. It means that they are aware and they fully support of it. So that's why you see it go the way it go. And remember that Britain is part of, what is happening in Nigeria. So Nnamdi kind of fighting the Nigerian government, indirectly he's fighting them. Yes, indirectly he's fighting them. So that's why to them they're in agreement with whatever Nigeria does. So
Good. I want to ask you, are you in support of what Mazi Nnamdi is fighting for? Do you believe in the cause of Mazi Nnamdi?
I will earlier beginning, but doing a different thing entirely. That was when I felt that he could have, you know, called them to order to tell them, hey, your people are not your problem. Let's face the real enemy here. So I started having some doubts, like, this thing is now touching people that are not supposed to be taught. So for me, I felt like, no, the direction is going, it's a very dangerous direction because I knew that direction, with that direction, the international community will frown at it. Yes, the international community will find out it because when they carry out investigation, they are still going to find out that these same men on ground have also terminated the lives of the Igbos, not really the Fulani men. So that was when I started like, no, 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 you have to call these guys to order. If I thought they are working with politicians, you should have long ago, solved it. But that same thing those men on ground were doing contributed to what you see happening to him now. Yes, because those men on ground carried out a lot of destruction, carried out things that look like terrorism, which I believe in the beginning he said Biafra will come without a bullet being shot. Like there won't be anything war, but Biafra will come. So I believe that those guys allowed themselves to be used by politicians, and then it resulted to this because he himself should have taken charge of them, or maybe look for a way to eliminate them and bring in fresh people. that will follow his order and not the orders of politicians. So I think that was when I started like, no, I don't like the movement. I don't like the way it is going now, you know. So that's it. So I can tell you that in the beginning, I love the idea, but after these guys started doing a different thing entirely, I lost interest.
Thank you very much. So before we go on, I would like to drop a number for anybody who would like to join this live presentation this evening concerning the imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, who has already been transferred to Sokoto prison, and the Fulani are celebrating, jubilating over the ordeal of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So this is the number to call. If you want to call or you want to join on this live presentation, you can call plus 3935 11050858. I call again plus 3935 11050805. So this is the number to call, WhatsApp only. Thank you. So now, if you look at the whole scenario in Nigeria, most especially in Southeast, the tension in Southeast have risen, and the people who are in the Southeast are not happy about the judgment Mazi Nnamdi Kanu received from the Justice James Omotosho, because they said that this is a pure injustice. That Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the appeal court was granted bail, was asked to go home, but the Nigeria federal government refused to release him to go and join his family. They held him, but now that they have sentenced him life imprisonment, now the Nigeria government, the DSS, was so fast. Within 24 hours, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was sent to Sokoto prison. So, what do you think is responsible for that? Why didn't they obey the first court order? Now they are obeying this second court order.
Well, you see, the first court order. Remember when Gowon and Ojukwu, when they went to that Ghana, what they call it, the Aburi. You remember that court they went
Yes.
to? When they returned, was it not the same Britain that told them, hey, why would you agree in such a judgment? Blah, blah, blah. You have to disagree, you know. So I will tell you that Nigeria is not just acting alone. Britain could have told them, hey, don't let that guy go. So definitely somebody from somewhere told them not to let him go. So they have to play along. The colonial master have interest in that in the Biafra land. So they take the oil from there. They know what they get and they know what they stand to lose. So definitely they must have told them, don't let him go. Keep him there. We are with you.
Okay.
You know?
Thank you very much. Now, before I go, I want you to look at the comment section. Someone has dropped a comment here at Uche Ike 127. He said the hand of the British is on Mazen and the Kalu predicament. If you go down, you also see, please try to distinguish between ESN and Abu Ebubago and Ebubago. Yes. So these are the two messages that they drop on the comment section. So I want you to attend to the first question, the
Well,
issue
the
he
hand of
raised.
the
This is a consigned.
Yes, 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 I saw it. The hand of the British definitely is there. You can see it clear, you know. Um, their silence speaks volume, you know. So no doubt about it. You don't need a prophet to tell you that their hand is there. They have a hand in all this you see happening. Because remember, 1914, right? There was a law. They had an agreement that after 100 years, when you don't feel comfortable anymore, you can go your separate ways. But if you love the doings of the country, you can still decide to be together, if you want. So I think 2000 and correct me, 2014, right? Maybe the 100 years, right? But
Yes.
the British themselves, that the agreement was done with them. They made the regional leaders to sign. They act like they don't know about it. They don't know anything about that document, and the document is there with them. So you can tell that they don't want that separation to happen. So that's why I tell you that their their hand is there. They're involved, fully involved. So that's it. About the ESN and the Bubago. The Bubago definitely, just like the Yorubas have the Omotekun, the Northerners have the Hizba or Mbanga or what they call them. They have different groups in the north as well. So the eastern region have the Ibubago formed by their eastern governors. They said these guys were created to fight the ESN guys, and to protect Igbo land from the Fulani Janjaweed. So, so the ESN are not a Ibubago. But you and I know that when Hope Uzodinma called for amnesty, some guys from the camp, the ESN camp, surrendered their weapons and they made them join the Ebubagu guys. So you can tell if in the Ebubagu themselves, you have a lot of ESN guys who have joined them and then fighting against the ESN the ones were in. So that's it. So the Ebubagu belongs to the government. The government controls and pays them. So while the ESN was created by Nnamdi Kanu to protect Igbo land from the invader, the Fulani, you know, that's it.
Thank you very
So
much.
very good
Now,
sense.
there is a rumor going across the cyberspace that some persons were alleging that the Southeast governors are the one responsible for the insecurity in the Southeast region. Thereby, they were impersonating the ESN, making the international community think that it is the ESN that is the one that is committing those crimes. What would you want to say about that?
Well, you cannot rule anything out here, but I will tell you the truth. If the ESN had behaved themselves and played according to the book given to them, the rules, it will be difficult to infiltrate them. But when some of them that have criminal mindset started doing a different thing other than what they were told to do to secure the whole forest, to secure the evil, when they started doing a different thing, so the government has to cash into it. Yes, the government cashed into it. Even some of them started even working for the government. So the government now use that opportunity to use some of them to do what they do, to cause the mayhem, to cause disruption, because they want to see Nnamdi Kanu jailed for life. So you can tell that the same group of ESN Nnamdi Kanu created equally betrayed him in this game. They betrayed him. So if they were so loyal to him, they wouldn't have allowed the government to use them. That means most of them in that group don't really know why they were there. They don't even know what they are fighting for. Most of them were just there for their own personal interest, money. And you can tell that anytime you see anything war or freedom fighting, you cannot expect all the fighters to be loyal to you. Even in the time of Ojuku, they were still saboteurs. Some of his men were taking money, leaking secret to the Nigerian government then. Even the great Hitler himself, most of his soldiers surrendered to the Russian side and started fighting against the German side. So it's everywhere. Even in Israel, you and I know what happened. Some of them were leaking secrets to the other side. So you will find some groups that will never be loyal to you, especially when money is involved. And there's this saying that the Igbos love money. So remember, Gowon said, if he had known, he wouldn't have fought that war. That all he would have done is to throw money in for them, and then you see them do the needful. Obasanjo said it as well. So the governors now know that these guys are hungry guys. The moment you give them money, you buy some of them and use them to do whatever you want to do. So they succeeded. So that's why it happened the way it happened. So the international community bought the idea that yes, they are terrorists from their actions. Definitely, when you go to Olu, Anambra, you see a lot of destruction. So those destruction of burning of houses, people's shop, cars, they were not really done by the Fulanis. They were done by those guys who we still have sold themselves to the side of the government. So that's why it went the way it went.
Thank you. So, but there was a video that was circulating on the internet where we saw where the Nigerian military were shooting sporadically at the same time, burning houses, shouting ESM, where are you? Any house that they think that the ESM members are, they demolish the house, set the house ablaze. So, would you say it was ESM that was committing those crimes?
Well, that's what we are talking about here. I said, if you did not start laying that foundation of burning houses, they will not do it. Because you have set a track record and people have known that ESN do burn houses too. That is why the soldiers too themselves have to imitate the same thing that the other side is doing. Imagine that the ESN don't burn houses, don't burn cars, don't kill their people. The soldiers will not do it because people will not believe the story. They cannot sell that story. So because these guys, some of them, like I told you, were doing a different thing entirely. So they now see that okay, this track record they have set, we can equally play with that pattern and make the people believe that they are the one doing it because people have seen them doing it. So that's the problem here.
Good. It was stated by Mazi Nnamdi when he created ESM that ESM is strictly to protect the bush, the forest. There was never a time Mazi Nnamdi said ESM was to come out of the bush. The intention of creating ESM was for ESM to be in the bush. But the people that we saw burning houses, killing people, are in town. So how can you differentiate these two?
ESN are not 100% in the bush. Sometimes they come to do one or two actions. You and I know that one. Because remember in the beginning, these guys normally go decimate the police, burn down their stations. You saw some actions they were carrying out then, buying some soldiers. So you cannot be in the bush and you're buying a soldier at checkpoints. You cannot be in the bush and you're burning down police. How did they do it? So sometimes they come out and do one or two operations and go back to the bush. So remember that you cannot rule anything out here because if you remember at the point too, some people were tagged saboteurs. So those saboteurs too, ESN did not just do magic and pick them up and then execute them based on say they said they are informants to the soldiers, informants to the bargo and the rest. So they are not 100% in the bush. Sometimes they go for operation. They take some people they tag sabo and do the needful to them. So remember, we don't just have the ESN. We also have the Biafran Liberation Force. I think they have two factions. So I don't know if you are confusing the ESN with the other group as well. Because when Simon Ekpa came, he has his own group, which is separate from that of China's and Wonro group. So you remember at a point, these two groups were equally fighting themselves. So there are two groups here.
Good. During the time of Mazi Nnamdi as we all know, that there was no time the Biafra struggle was violent. It has always been a peaceful movement. Thereby, where Mazi Nnamdi was calling for referendum, even invited the United Nations to call Nigeria to order so there can be a referendum where everybody can decide where they want to belong. So if you a man who have gone to these routes asking for referendum, so why would the federal government declare him a terrorist? Is the word referendum a terrorist act?
Yeah, well, according to the Nigerian constitution, there is no place you find a referendum there. Country works with constitution. So if the word referendum is not there, no places you can find it in the constitution. So they feel that they are asking for something that does not exist in the book. And the British, the colonial masters, knew why they did not add referendum in the constitution because they don't want the country to disintegrate. They said after 100 years you can leave. But being so trickish, after 100 years you can leave by referendum, right? But they equally remove the a referendum from the constitution. It's not there. So to Nigerian government, you're asking for something that is not there, meaning that you're looking for trouble, you know? So that's how they look at it. But to me, they would have sit down with him and discuss. Because in the beginning, if you remember, Nnamdi Kanu was not asking for um, a country, Biafra, for independence of the Biafran state, but he was only asking for them to do the needful, open up seaports, create new small states for the eastern region, stop corruption, something that will benefit the whole country at large. But the Nigerian government were like, look at this small boy. Are you going to tell us what to do? Even at then, I heard that Buhari wanted to consider, but the same Eastern governors were like, why would you listen to that small boy? Are you afraid of him? You can deal with him. Don't accept his terms, blah, blah, blah. So this is how we found ourselves where we were. It could have been a peaceful stuff, something that could have happened quietly and nobody will know. But Nigeria now, strong head. They feel everything is by fighting, 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 fighting. So they brought in soldiers and the rest is history.
Why is it that the case of every Igbo man is different from others in Nigeria? This same thing Mazi Nnamdi Kalu was asking for. The Yoruba also asked for it. Sunday Igboho, he asked for it. Sunday Igboho is free. He was not tagged a terrorist. Uh, Even in the north, they were asking for Ariwa Republic. There was never a time they were tagged terrorists. Why is it that Mazi Nnamdi Kalu decided to ask for Biafra and now they are not tagging him a terrorist?
Well, because his people sold him out. The same governors sold him out. His people sold him out. Just the way Ojuku too, his own people too, did what they did. So it has always been there that the Igbos, people say the Igbos don't love themselves, you know, they don't love themselves. The Yorubas, you can tell they love themselves. They work with one mind. The Northerners work with one mind. But when it comes to Igbo land, they hardly work with one mind. So that's how I'll tell you that it went the way it went. So they tagged him terrorists because I don't know what they fear to lose if he should get Biafra. I don't know what the politicians felt they are going to lose, or they felt like the guy is going to imprison all of them or kill all of them in the Biafra land. Maybe they were not sure if the Biafra should come. They were not sure of themselves, and maybe they'll feel this is the end. That will mark the end of their political career being dead because now they kind of might tell them no more politics for you guys. That's retire them permanently. So the fear of losing a lot. They will not have a stake in the Biafran land. So maybe that's why they felt like, we have to sabotage this guy's movement. Or this guy will spoil show for us. After they suck all this oil from Nigeria, they chop the money. We love it that way. If Biafra come now, he might not allow us to continue with corruption in this new country. So it's all about interest. So that's why it went the way it went.
Thank you. Now, since the imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi Kalu, is it to say that the call for the Republic State of Biafra, that hope has been dashed?
Well, they hope um it depends. The people, it depends on the people, you know. It depends on the people, you know, because now ECBA is there, and Namikano also is in the other side, both in prison. So it takes someone with strong courage to fit into that shoe now to pilot the movement again. Because remember, Uwazurike too have been there, but later released on conditions, and he was given money. But if you check Nnamdi Kanu, he's somebody that is not ready to take money. Eba is not ready to take money. So the next person will be thinking, if I fit into this shoe now, maybe it will be my turn to go into prison. Maybe the country where I'll be operating from will arrest me and jail me. So the fear of being jailed, because going to prison is a different thing. It's like the torture, the mental torture in there alone is a different thing entirely. So most the person that will want to fit into that should be having this skeptical mind of like, "Ah, I'm going to lose a lot, so I may not be able to see my family for a very long time. I might even be killed." So now people are having this feeling like, this may be the end, though, because if there's nobody to pilot the affair, it means that the movement at a point will slow down or die a natural death. Because you and I don't know what will happen to Nnamdi Kanu at the end of the day or Simon Ekpa at the end of the day. So unless that time comes when they are free, then we'll know what happens from there. But for now, I've not seen anybody that have that strong courage like them to continue in that capacity or more than that capacity. So it means that most of them are still afraid of fitting into that shoe.
Thank you for that question. Now, there's a speculation that is going on in the internet that the wife of Mazi Nnamdi has an hand in the ordeal of her husband, stating that the reason why people are accusing her directly or indirectly because they see Mazi Samuel Ekpa, who has been jailed in the Finnish prison, Klamakosi prison, for 6 years, that he was the one that is fighting for the release of her husband, but she lay hands with the former warlord. Um, Odumeju Ojukwu's wife to file a petition against Simon in Finland that resulted the arrest and investigation of Simon Ekpa. Now, people are now saying that it is because the imprisonment of Simon Ekpa in Finland, that was where Nigeria had the boldness to now jail the Mazi Nnamdi as well. Do you think that statement is true?
Well, I would not like to talk about that. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So now I'm just going through the Twitter post of the legal counsel of Mazi Nnamdi Kalu, Alo Jumako. I read and I state, he said, Alo Jumako, Mazi Nnamdi Kalu has been transferred, publicly expressing his concern that the move would distance him from his legal team, family, and supporters. The court verdict had explicitly allowed for its placement in any part of the country, citing protective custody's concern. So, what do you have to say about the concern of Aloy Jimako that the Sokoto prison that Mazinandi Kalu was transferred to, it seems that he's not really happy with this transfer for Sokoto instead of Kuje prison there in Abuja.
Well, he has a, it's legit, he's right in that point because why should you take him as far as Sokoto? I even heard another news talking about it was Zamfara. They have moved him to this time around. So I don't know which of them is now true, Sokoto or Zamfara. I'm not sure anymore. But why taking him to that side where you know that Boko Haram normally invades the prison, free the people, kill some. So it looks like his life is not protected there. Even before nobody is sure, even the next 2 years, what will happen to him there. So he's right in his claim.
Good. So I want to shift a bit to Mazen Samuel Ekpa. Now, the two brightest evil sons who is fighting for this freedom of Biafra restoration has been heard in Finnish. Now, so what is the fate of every Igbo man in Nigeria?
Every woman now knows that somehow, hmm, I will tell you that right now, most of them don't know the next direction to take because in the West, EPA is there in prison. When it comes to Africa, Kenya, you know, made it possible for Nigerian government to get Nnamdi Kanu. So it's just like who is now on your side? Who is on the side of the Igbos? That's the question. Is it China? China is for Nigeria, as you can see. When America was threatening to come to Nigeria, China was saying, "Hey, we are with you, Nigeria. Don't be afraid." So, who is now for the Biafrans? That's not the question. So that's where I say the confusion right now. So the hope of every Igbo man is somehow at the point dash, because the EU now, definitely the EU, you cannot tell me they don't know about Samonekpa's case, that he has been jailed there. So Africa as well, you cannot tell me that Britain doesn't know. You cannot tell me that America themselves don't know. They know. So that's why the Igbo man now is confused. What next? What next?
Thank you. Do you think that President Donald Trump, the United States of America, can intervene in the case of Mazi Nnamdi and Samuel Ekpa? Do you think that can be possible?
Well, hmm, well, that will be a very hard one. Very, very hard one. Very, very hard one. I'm not sure of that, so I think I would not like to comment on that. Thank
Okay. So, guys, evening, this live presentation, we are having a guest here in our live presentation who has done justice to the topic of today. So we really don't have much. So if you have any question you want to ask my guest, you can drop it on the comment section so where you can do justice to. Otherwise, we'll be calling this live presentation a day. So Chi, I want you to say one or two to the audience, especially to the Igbo youth. What do you think they should do at this point?
Well, I'll tell the Igbos, I love your brothers, your sisters, and remember, you have one enemy. It's not you, the evil. It's not you, the Biafrans. You're not your own enemy. Your enemy is there. You know them. So focus your energy on them and not on your people. When you start getting it right by loving yourself, having this one mindset, I believe, you know, they say when two cannot work if they don't agree. And the Bible tells you when the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? So if they are starting on a faulty foundation by hating themselves, fighting among themselves, having different factions, I believe it will take them next 200-300 years to get it right. So they have to start building that one law themselves and focus. And with that, they will.
Thank you very much. So, if you are just joining us now or you come across this video, please do well to share this video, like it, drop your comment on the comment section, and tell us what you think about this live presentation about the imprisonment of Mazi Nnamdi who has been sent transferred to Sokoto prison. Do you think that Mazi Nnamdi is safe in Sokoto prison? Or do you think that the Nigeria is really showing inhumanity to the person of Mazin and the Carlo? So we would like to draw this curtain here. We'll see you on our next update. Thank you for joining us. See you. Good night. Good evening, guys.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Thank you. You know.